Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today I am talking about the books that I am bringing with me on vacation. So at the end of July every year, my family and I go camping together. Actually, when this video is posting, I will already be camping. So this is pre-recorded so that there's something to go up while I'm away. But while I'm camping, I don't usually read a whole lot because I'm doing other activities, but I like to bring a couple of books with me just because I bring books everywhere I go, and also because if it's raining or something, sometimes I will get some reading done. So I have 3 books here to talk about. So the first book that I have here is The Fire Opal Mechanism by Fran Wilde. This is a novella that I recently got, and this is set in a world where there are magic jewels. So there are stones in the earth that can kind of like whisper in your mind and can drive people mad, but they also have a kind of magic to them. And so there are people who are called lapidaries that are able to control these magical stones. And I read the first book, which is called The Jewel and Her Lapidary, last year. I thought that the world and the magic was really interesting. It had a really great vibe to it because it had this kind of like earth magic with the stones, but the stones were also kind of like malevolent in a way that gave it this sort of darker vibe. But the book was really short. I felt like it didn't expand on the story enough. I also felt like while I got a sense for the vibe of the world, there just wasn't enough space in the novella to really explain what was going on, so I found myself very confused while I was reading it because it was a very short novella. Anyways, this is the next book. It's not directly related, I think, to the first novella. I think this one is more of like a companion novella to the first one, but again, I thought the world and magic were really interesting, so I kind of want to give it another try. This one is following totally different characters. There is, I think, a thief and a librarian who are on a quest to find a magical watch that has some kind of great mysterious powers. But I just thought that sounded like fun. The next 2 books that I have are ones that were on my shelf at the end of 2018. So I did a video a couple of months ago about all of the books that were on my TBR shelf at the end of 2018 and how I wanted to get through about like a third to a half of those books. And so I need to kind of get going on that. I have been reading some off of that shelf, but I've also been reading a lot of the like new releases and newer books that I've been buying. So I need to start getting to some of those books that have been on my shelf a little bit longer. Anyways, the first one that I have here is The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. This is one that I feel like a lot of people probably know what this one is. It was pretty popular last year. It takes place in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. In this town's history during the witch trials, there were, I think, 3 witches or 3 women who were burned as witches, and I think they turned out to actually be witches. And so now every year in the summer, these women their spirits come back to this town and possess young girls and lure boys to their deaths. And we're following a girl who lives in this town, and there is a new boy who moves into town, and she doesn't want him to be killed by these witches this summer, and so I think she sets off to try and protect this newcomer. And what I've heard about this is that most people enjoyed it, not a lot of people like loved it, and that people thought the story was just okay, but that it's very atmospheric and they really loved the atmosphere of it, even if the story wasn't like super engaging. And I think that that sounds like a good level of engagement for when I'm on vacation. When I'm picking books to go with me on vacation, I want to pick things obviously that I'll like, but I don't really want to pick anything that is either like too dense or heavy because I probably will not be in the headspace to like really focus on that. But I also don't want to pick something that will really like suck me in, because even if I am like taking a little bit of time to do some reading, I don't want to spend my whole time reading. When I'm on vacation, when I'm camping, I want to really like be there and be doing the activities and talking to my friends who are there and all of that. So I have to like find things that are in that kind of like in between where I'll like it enough that it's like enjoyable, but not so much that I'm going to become obsessed with it. But I think that this one might be that good in between, that I don't think the story will make me obsessed with it, but the atmosphere will keep me engaged and it'll be fun to read. And the last one that I have here is actually the one I'm most excited about, and I feel like I'm most likely to pick up first, which is An Enchantment of Ravens. Oh, that's very shiny. By Margaret Rogerson. So this is another one that I feel like a lot of people know about, and it's another one that people have said that the story is okay, but it's very atmospheric. So that's kind of like how I've chosen some of these books. Again, for that like good in the middle ground where it'll be fun but not too fun. But this one is a YA fantasy that has fairies in it. So in this world, fairies are not able to create anything, and so they have to rely on humans to create things for them, especially things like art. And we follow a main character who is human, who is an artist. She is a painter, and she is commissioned by a fairy lord of some sort to paint his portrait. But when she does, she paints human sorrow into his eyes, and for some reason that's a terrible offense. I don't know why, but for some reason that's a terrible thing to do, and then I think he like whisks her away to fairyland as some sort of punishment for this. I don't 100% know what happens beyond the basic premise of that, like, she's an artist and she paints sorrow into his eyes. But I feel like I'm kind of in the mood for this one, and I feel like this will be a good one to read while I'm at camp. Also, since this video will be going up while I am away, I won't be replying to comments until after I get back, because there is no cell service or Wi-Fi, internet, anything like that, where we're camping. So I won't be able to reply to anything, but I will reply to your comments when I get back. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye.